Hi and welcome to this video. This is the third out of 3 videos, and in this one we're going to find a sure path to financial security, financial independence, and abundance in general. Okay, so thank you very much for having made the time to come and watch this. I promise you it's going to be of great value to you. My name is David Cameron Gikandi. I'm the author of A Happy Pocket Full of Money and creative consultant on the movie The Secret. Let's get right into it. Now, I hope you watched video number 1. Video number 1 was about troubleshooting the law of attraction not working and fixing broken manifestation. In video number 1, we really talked about the formula and the framework that we're going to be using all throughout everything that we do over here. So just for the sake of those who have actually watched video number 1, I'm not going to go into the details of breaking down this particular framework here. I'm just going to trust that you understand what it's all about, that you understand that the sequence of manifestation is that you ask, and that the asking is a conscious and unconscious vibration, all right? And that the universe always answers without fail, and that you receive through alignment. So if you missed video number 1, I highly encourage you to pause this, go back and watch video number 1 so that this whole table can make sense, okay? We're just going to move on. If you want more details about this, go back to video number 1. We really spend time on this table over there, okay? So for the rest of us who've watched video number 1, or for you, if you do understand what that framework really stands for, welcome, and let's go on. Now, let's talk about financial abundance. How are we getting it currently? In this column, this is how we're getting it, okay? This is how we're vibrating. Remember, life is all about vibration. It's not so much about action. Action is very important, but that which creates is actually at the vibrational level. Action is at the experiencing level. So the cause is at the vibration level. Okay? Now, how are we trying to cause abundance in life? One of the most common ways is to join the rat race. Okay? In the rat race, we're sort of trapped on this treadmill or wheel. We just have to keep going to work, coming back, going to work and coming back. Rarely are we actually doing meaningful work. Rarely are we really feeling satisfied, or are we really contributing from our uniqueness. Remember yesterday's video where we talked about life purpose and meaning and unique value? Rarely are we coming from that point. We're usually coming from a point where we're just trying to fit in and get whatever we can get anyways, all right? We went to college, we got a job, and we applied, and, life went this way and that way, and this is what we're doing now, right? So, the whole rat race. And also, I want you to think about the conversation we have, the conversation, rather, that we live in as a society. It's a conversation where quite often, it's most of the time when you talk to people about their work, they're not really excited about it. They're not talking as if they're coming from a place of meaning and value, contribution of a certain scale. There are people who are doing that, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of people are sort of surviving. They're not thriving, okay? So the conversation is about struggle. It's about having to go to work. It's almost like paid indentured slavery. I gotta go to work, I'm so stressed, I just can't get enough money, I can't, that's a conversation that we're also living in. And if you look at this guy with his little tricycle over here, he's trying to make progress with a tool that is simply not built for it. And look at his face, yeah? And this represents the whole idea of power versus force, doing versus being. Let me clarify. When we attract, we're coming from a state of being, of sufficiency, and all that good stuff. So we attract, and in that we're coming from a place of power. Conversely, when we are kind of like trying to do, working 18 hours a day, and doing what we don't like, and just trying to make that dollar, that's kind of doing. That's force. You see, this is the difference between power versus force. Force and doing go together. Power and being go together. This guy is trying to do his way into abundance. So is this guy trying to do his way into abundance instead of trying to be the success that he wishes to to experience, okay? And a third thing here we have to understand is ignorance versus knowledge. Look at him. Why would he get this vehicle? Why would he choose a tricycle? Isn't that from ignorance? Like, there's better vehicles out there, right? So again, ignorance versus knowledge comes into play. So this idea of ignorance, doing, force, rat race, that's the vibrational offering we're giving to life. And as we know, life always takes our vibrational offering and answers without fail, without adjustment. It just gives us what we ask for. Always ask and you shall receive. Always, it doesn't fail. So what we're receiving from this kind of vibrational input, when we put this into the computer, so to speak, that's our input. What's the output? Well, look at this guy. He's got like a dollar tied to his foot and he's sort of trying to stay afloat. Guess what's in his mind? The whole time up there, he's just thinking, oh my God, this weight. See, so his mind is on the money. It's like the money has become his master. Yeah. So instead of him being the master of money, the money has become his master. It's literally drowning him, keeping him from doing anything else other than work and struggle for it. You know, much of his day is just spent on that. Okay, much of his mind power is spent on that. Yeah. How on earth did a piece of paper become our master? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? It's a piece of paper, or it's a number on a computer screen. Yet it's our master. We become its slave. It's become our God. Okay, and then this is another result of this vibrational offering. Drowning in bills and debt. Now that's this whole feeling that you're a victim. Okay, so that in a nutshell captures our problem as a society. Maybe not everyone, but maybe 90% of society sort of is sharing this problem in one way or another. Not necessarily because of the amount they have. Sometimes you can find that this problem, even at a level of somebody who's earning $1 million a year, they could still be having this problem. You know, and somebody who's earning like, I don't know, $1 a day could still be having this problem. It's just the magnitude that has changed. Okay. Now, why is this happening to us? Again, using our model. And I hope you watched video number 1 because you can start to see this model is really being used everywhere. So if you haven't watched video number 1, just go and watch it because it's really going to make what we're going through a lot more clear. So why is this happening to us? Well, we've been conditioned to be someone other than who we really are, right? We again, please watch video number 2 because we're not going to go through this in detail like we did in the other video, because that was the point of this video, finding your meaning, purpose, and unique value. That's where we address this, what we've been conditioned to be. Okay, and so let's just talk about it briefly here, but I encourage you to watch video number 2 as well. Okay, so watch video number 1, video number 2, then come to this. So why are we literally living in this rat race condition, or using force and trying to do our way into success? Because first of all, we've gone out of alignment with who we really are. Once you're out of alignment with who you really are, you cannot even feel the unique value of who you really are. And remember, there's a value that only you can provide to this universe. There's a value that only I can provide. You're not going to come to me for my weakness. I'm really weak at so many things. Like, for example, I'm terrible at cooking. I bet you'll never give me a single dollar, a single minute of your time to have me cook for you. Because I'm just telling you right now, that's not my weakness. But you're going to go to somebody who's great at cooking, maybe some Thai food or whatever it is that you're into, and you'll gladly fork out money to enjoy that experience, you see? Now, if I try to be a chef or a cook, and I'm not, am I not going to be doing this? Yeah, or this? See? But if I just embrace who I am, and I do this is what I love doing, this is what I'm great at, then all of a sudden, voila, I'm in the flow, right? And then follow up to that, we've been conditioned to struggle for abundance any which way. Just get a job. Just get a job. Okay? Any job. What about my passions? Oh, your passions? Those are distractions. You can do that on the weekend. What about my strengths? Don't worry about those. Just blending in and get a job. And fix your weaknesses. We talked about this in video 2, so I hope you really go in there because we really get into detail there. But these four things, being someone other than who you are, struggling for abundance any which way you can, fixing our weaknesses and forgetting our strength, and regarding our passions as distractions, this get you out of alignment and out of your ability to contribute unique value to the rest of us. And that seriously limits your abundance potential, even your financial abundance potential. Seriously limits that. Okay? You need to be in the flow, and you can only be in the flow by embracing who you are. Now, another reason why we're doing this, you see this guy with the little vehicle that doesn't serve his purposes, is because our education has excluded the knowledge on how to move up the wealth ladder. You know, when we go to school and then go to college and everything, we're literally being trained to get a job. That's being a worker, one way or another, whether it's a scientist or a doctor or an artist, whatever. We're sort of being trained to get a job, and whether that's a job as an employee or as a self-employed person, doing their own thing, that's still a job. Moving up the wealth ladder gets you to become somebody who aligns with a group of people. You could say a team, and then somebody who goes beyond the self and goes into enterprise, goes beyond the enterprise and goes into society. Those are the ladders of wealth. We are not taught that. We are taught just how to sort of fit into the industrial machinery, so to speak, to get a job. That's basically. So we don't know what to do. We don't know how to move up. Okay, and so that's the ignorance portion we're talking about. Again, further on ignorance, we have not been taught how to invest like the wealthy. The wealthy, by the way, invest very unlike the middle class and the poor. You are not going to find wealthy people going for the latest get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to find wealthy people. Trust me, they do go for things that return great returns. Okay, as in, if you're talking about get rich quick, those guys get rich quick eventually. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a method to the madness. They don't just jump on this new scheme, that new crazy idea, or that super hot stock tip. They don't do that, right? They have a very long-term, chilled out, well thought out, clear path, which takes advantage of the power of compounding. Many of us up to today don't really appreciate and know the power of compounding. We don't. Yet this is the one secret that they use. They put in something in an investment that has certain safeguards, so they protect their downside. The growth rate might not even be anything sexy to you and I. Maybe that investment could only be growing at 7% or 10% or maybe max 12%. And then they just leave it there for quite a while, and next thing you know, a few tens of thousands of dollars, or even a few $1,000s turns into something big, and you think, wow, that guy doesn't seem to work, yet he just seems to be rich. Why? Because of the power of compounding. Whereas the poor and the middle class, somehow they have this itchy feet. Every day they want to touch their money. They want to put it in, and then a week later they want to sell. And then a week later they want to buy. A week later they want to sell. You're never going to get to, use the power of compounding with that. The ultra rich leave their money parked sometimes for years without touching. Yeah? But they know where to put it. And it's nothing secret. It's just a matter of who has educated you. If your parents and your education system did not know this, or did not have an agenda of teaching you, you're not going to know, okay? But it doesn't make it like a secret society. It's out there for anybody. Again, things like asset allocation, things like portfolio, having a portfolio. All these are the ways the rich invest, and you can too. It's just that you've never really been taught. For example, why does asset allocation really work so well? Because even the most smartest, best, super hot investor on this planet makes mistakes. Sooner or later, they're going to call the wrong shot. And the only thing that protects them from losing their shirt is because of this portfolio, managing their portfolio, or asset allocation rather, to be more accurate. Okay, so this kind of ignorance really hurts us, because this kind of Over here, you see these first four enabled you to make more money or to have more abundance in all its flavors, including cash. And then this one over here allows you to multiply that money. Okay. And then finally, here, vision gives you a game plan, a flight path. A lot of us don't even know how to have a proper vision for our life. We perish because of lack of vision. Okay. Now, the next column. We talked about this in the last two videos, so again, go back and watch them. But disregarding who you really are, and by who you really are, we mean beyond human. What are you beyond this human existence? And also, thinking of space and time as objective concrete realities, that's a mistake. That's a perception. It's an incorrect perception. The reality, quantum physics tells us that time, space is an illusion. It's not objective, it's subjective. It's not concrete, it's fluid. Things like that, And trust me, your worldview and your self-view have a big effect on your abundance, financial or otherwise. And of course, being disconnected from or disregarding spirit is a big mistake, because that's where you come from. Even quantum physics tells us everything is made of energy, and energy seems to come from this mystery that science can measure but cannot really define. How can you then disconnect yourself from your maker, your source, and hope to really have abundance? The source of abundance is the source of you. You cannot walk around like you're disconnected, right? It's going to have an effect. Now, how do we mess ourselves up in terms of the receiving column? We've been conditioned to take what you can get. We talked about this in yesterday's video. Take what you can get. Do whatever it takes to fit in. Serve the ego or big brother instead of your spirit or your true self. We talked about this yesterday. Please go back and watch that yesterday's video. We face life as a victim or a pawn instead of as a creator. Again, that's a matter of conditioning. It's not reality. We are a creator, but we live as if we're victims. Again, being emotionally frozen and escaping from problems. We talked about this yesterday. These are terrible things to do. Okay? And then this is specific to this particular video of today. This whole thing of doing it yourself. We talked about the wealth ladder. At the very bottom of the wealth ladder is this idea of doing everything by yourself. When you start to move up, like two steps up, you're at the ultimate level of doing it yourself. You're now a self-employed businessman, Maybe at the very bottom of the ladder, you're unemployed, you don't have anything, you don't have any income, or you do have an income, but it's less than your needs, so you're always in debt. Then you move one up and you got a job or something, but you're barely making it even, whatever. But you will never really break through and start to fly when you're just doing everything by yourself with zero leverage. You need other people, you need processes, you need systems, you need teams, you need a structure, you need that kind of a thing. You need to create a vehicle, okay? You cannot, very, very, very few people, you can almost count it on one hand, have really ever really gotten abundance by themselves. Yeah? People that you know around you, just ask yourself, look at people that you know, count on two hands, I dare you. Count on two hands people who are extremely successful, who are doing everything by themselves. I dare you to even get 5 that you know. Extremely successful doing everything by themselves. It doesn't happen. You've somehow got to join the rest of society one way or another. Okay? And then we've also been conditioned to take money literally, as if it was a living, independent god of some kind. As if money is just piece of paper and records on computers. But we take it as if it's so powerful and amazingly crazy that we are nothing compared to it, and we become its slave and we beg for it and we compromise ourselves for it, whatever. This idea of taking money literally, like it was something special and bigger than us, it's a terrible conditioning, okay? And it leads us to work for money instead of having money work for you, okay? And also this being conditioned not to use leverage, again, that's related to this struggling by ourselves. So these are the ways that we have messed ourselves up when it comes to abundance, financial especially, okay? Now, how do we fix this? Again, watch yesterday's video. We talked about discovering your natural genius, your natural path to abundance, your strengths, your passions. These 4 are what allow you to make more money, or otherwise enjoy more abundance, financial or otherwise. Okay, the minute you start to live from this, straight away you start to attract abundance. Straight away. Okay, you stop chasing, you start attracting. And then you need to acquire knowledge on how to move up the wealth ladder. You need to acquire knowledge on how to invest like the rich, and you need to learn how to have a proper future vision. Okay, that's in the ask column. If we look at the next column, universe answers, just like with all the other videos we've seen, you need to understand quantum energy, or how the universe comes about, and how reality is created. That really does something magical to your mind. And then you also really need to understand who you really are. And then the last column, under you receive, once again, the healing the inner child comes in. You cannot do these things if your inner child is blocking you. Okay, if your inner child is telling you you're not worthy, you're not going to find your natural, you're just going to not understand the value of all these four things we're talking about. The things like that. If your inner child is telling you you're stupid, you're gonna, or you should be afraid of money, you're not gonna you're gonna try and dodge this, for example. You see, or you're unworthy, you're gonna try and dodge that. Okay, you see. So the inner child really is sort of like the gateway. It's the gateway. You cannot reach the kingdom until you have healed your inner child. Okay. Now, how do we do all this? That's where we bring in the course, the power of one. Under the you ask column, remember we said the solutions are, these four: discover your natural genius, your natural path to abundance, your strengths and passions. That comes in this video. Know your unique value. 74 fantastic minutes where that's all we cover. Then when it comes to acquire knowledge on how to move up the wealth ladder, this video, the 9 levels of wealth, kick in. And then when it comes to acquire knowledge on how to invest like the rich, this video, financial independence and freedom flight path and toolkit, comes in. And when it comes to having a future vision, this video comes in, okay, on how to have a future vision. When we look at the second column, we've already talked about this in the last 2 videos. We have the quantum field module, or it's a 99-minute video. Then we have the Course in Miracles, 116 minutes of releasing yourself from the illusion of separation. And under the final column, we have the video on cultivating an undefeated mind, cultivating emotional vulnerability, and healing your inner child. All those come into play when it comes to how to heal your inner child. All those 3 will come into play. They're useful. So thank you once again. I hope this made sense, right? I think you can start to see why we struggle financially and what we can do about it. It's as simple as sorting out your inner child, sorting out your greater sense of self, your self view and your world view, your universe view and your self view. Okay, and then these aspects of understanding your unique value, your path, and all that. Okay, and once again, let's just have a look real quick at the modules that go into the power of one. This is how they fit into those 3 columns, like we saw in the last 2 videos. And like we said, we've got 3 main categories of the main modules. We've got the abundance modules, the quantum field, know your unique value, 9 levels of wealth, and the financial independence kit. And then we have the inner game modules that includes the undefeated mind, emotional vulnerability, inner child healing. Then we have the spirituality modules, which are A Course in Miracles. We've got several videos on that. And of course, we have the bonuses: a happy pocket full of money, developing a new abundant relationship with money, everything you ever wanted to know about manifesting, visualization and goal setting masterclass, everyday 12-point lifesaver. This is read by Bob Doyle. Interviews with 46 business leaders, interviews with 18 health leaders, interviews with 42 inspirational leaders, interviews with 11 spirituality leaders. These are all leaders, people who have really made a mark. Including people like Moby, Moby the musician, Paula Abdul, Robert Kiyosaki, and a whole bunch of others. They talk about living a life of passion. Then we also have 15 self-talk scripts for life situations. Self-talk is that conversation that you have with yourself. Okay, these are some very positive ones on all the major aspects of life. When you listen to this, it will help you change yours, so that it's supportive, it works for you, not against you. Then we have 340 artistic inspirational wallpapers. Really great stuff. These are beautiful. You can use them on your computer, on your phone, send them to friends, whatever. Then you have the experiential guide to a happy pocket full of money, a course in miracles, the text, the workbook, and some extra videos. And we have 50 small business videos. It's an MBA in a box. This is great if you have ever wanted to start a business based on your passion. This is everything you ever needed to know about what it takes to run a great business. All the aspects of a great business are covered. 50 videos right in there. Now, you also get live Q&A conference calls every now and then, and we have a discussion forum and a community, okay? Now, since this is our last video in this series, I'd just like to repeat what I said yesterday. I don't like pressure techniques. I'm not trying to pressure you to get this. Again, it's totally just feel within you. Does it feel like you should get it? Now, if you do feel like you should get it, I do have an incentive for you to get it today, okay? Number one, I first of all want to tell you that it's 100% guaranteed. If you don't like it, just return it within 30 days or just let us know. Within 30 days, we will refund your money totally, no questions asked, and the checkout is secure, okay? So now that the risk is on me, and by the way, we use PayPal, so literally you can just hit the dispute button. So you can pretty much guarantee you're gonna get your refund. It's not a big deal. Here's my incentive to you. I've come to learn in my life that whenever I say I'll do something tomorrow, whenever I start that whole procrastination journey, it messes me up. And I believe personally that this material is good for you. Okay? So although I'm not saying you need to get it, if you do need to get it, I want to give you an incentive to get it today. And this is like this. Two things happen on this community and this course. We add new content every now and then. So that grows the value of the entire Power of One course. Every now and then, whenever we add new content, the value grows. Secondly, and very importantly, the value grows because of the growing community. The more people join, the more we have a big mastermind, both in the forums and also in the in the group calls and so on. You'll end up making friends, you'll end up discussing things with people. So as that value rises, we also adjust the price upwards. On launch, this thing starts at $217. That's what we start with when we launch this program, okay? But over time, every week, as we add new content and the community grows, every single week, the value of this thing goes up, and also its price correspondingly goes up. The price doesn't reflect the value. The value you get out of this is way more than the price, way more. I mean, think about it. $200 is peanuts compared to your life, okay? But what I'm trying to say is that the price trends up every single week because the value is also growing every single week. Okay, it's just it's pure. You can understand that, right? It just makes sense, right? And the reason for that is two. Obviously, because the value is growing, I think it's justified and fair to also have the price trend up with it. But the most important reason why we've got that set up that way is so that you can act this week, because next week it's gonna be more, the week after it's gonna be more, the week after that it's gonna be more. So this is my incentive to you to get it now, because we started it off very, very lowly priced, okay? And the sooner you get in, the more you lock in that super value today. So that's my incentive and my reward to you for acting this week. So anyways, I really hope you've got a lot of value out of this presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's made sense to you, and I hope you've got some, something that you can use in your life that is worthwhile from what we've just covered, okay? So thank you very much for having spent your time. I do hope to see you on the inside. Thank you.